My full name is Naqibun Nabi, and I'm from Bangladesh. Getting admission from FAU, getting the F1 visa for us because we are international students, and other documentations, those processes were really smooth. But when we started seeking housing here in the Boca Raton city, so that was the hardest part. The main crisis period is when we land for the first time. And the first month, the first 2 months, this is the most critical period for every international students. Like if you are considering the present situation, it's really hard to find a place at the very beginning of the semester. So people have to share with others, especially we Bangladeshi students, we share our rooms, we share our apartment with other new incoming students. And that's how the situation is.
My name is Habib Abdullah and I'm from Bangladesh. When I asked them about the on-campus housing facilities like the university care department, and they told me about the monthly payment, and that was too expensive for me. That's why I just avoided to make any further contact with the university authorities. And I look for my off-campus housing for myself.
The overall process was really hard because when we are searching for the off-campus housings, and when we are looking for nearby housing options in those apps like Zillow or the other apps, I experienced that most of those apps are really not good, or those are really not creating any difference, any options for the international students like us. The rent was pretty unstable, like you have one advertisement for one apartment and different realtor is offering different rent prices. So that was really confusing. So that's why we really avoid those options and go for our personal communication. Overall, it was a risky period for us. It was really critical. It was financially shocking for us. And the uncertainty was really hurting us at the time because we had to come to the campus from a distant city, and the transportation was not good. And like if you consider all these issues, the time was really hard for me. Like the first 2 months, I would say, that was the hardest part of the whole journey.
At the beginning time, like the first week, that was a horrible experience because I didn't know where to stay. The first 3 days, I shared an apartment with one of my Bangladeshi brother, and the later 2 days, I have to shift another room because I cannot stay for a whole week or whole month. And then I found a sublease of an apartment, so I have to share a room with another international student. He was a Pakistani guy. He was really nice. But that place was not comfortable for me. I stayed there for 2 months, and then when a lot of students come in the next fall, then I made a group of 2 or 3 and then rent an apartment. And one thing I want to mention, when we go for the apartments for leasing in the nearby areas, like we prefer walking distance from the FAU campus. So there are not too many communities who are giving the apartment into us because we don't have any social security number, and also the credit score at the time. They want that for leasing. So that was the availability was not that much for us. So I felt the housing crisis at that time. Yes.
What I have learned from the whole experience that most of the international students are coming here and looking for the houses based on their network, based on their personal communication. And if that doesn't work, so the whole process fails. So the uncertainty level goes high. So that's the real problem. If anybody else is not helping the student, then the student is in a deep crisis at that point. And I would say that most international students don't have good transportation options, like they cannot buy a car. The bus system or the shuttle system is not so good here. So the international students are always looking for a housing that can be within their walking distance from the campus. And the options are very little here. So there is only 1 or 2 communities which are really within the walking distance. So if those options are not available, so they are in a very critical position.
If you can arrange a temporary housing facilities for the new students, especially for international students, it would be great to cope up with for the first few days, at least for a week or 2, with a cheap price, like much lower than the hotel price. That would be great for the new students.
So FAU need to think about it. Like I know that FAU has their systems about the domestic students mostly, but I really don't think they have any good plan for the internationals. Though I want to mention that this year, the international office took some initiative, like they opened a Facebook page, or they tried to communicate to the incoming international students, tried to like patch them up with somebody who can mentor them, informing them about the nearby hotels where they can stay for a few days, maybe for a week or 2. So at least FAU took some initiatives this year, and I really liked that, because it shows that they actually felt that there is something wrong about the housing system, something critical that is going on here, and international students are in a very vulnerable position. So I'm happy that they have acknowledged it. I started looking for Facebook pages, and I found 2 or 3 Facebook pages, and the names were like Facebook off-campus housing. My experience was those Facebook pages were full of scammers, and they're just literally sitting there to trap people down. And international students who don't have really any idea about what's going on in this whole area, so they are the major victims. So I contacted three person who claimed that they have available rooms nearby FAU campus. They said that the rent is really low, like it was really unimaginable how low the price the rent price was that they were offering that time. The advertisements were like really alluring, and you will find nice pictures of apartment, but at some point they will say that they don't stay in this city, they stay in a distant place. So you can just send him the security money, like $400, $500, and they take it, and you will find them nowhere. It was like a bait. So international students were falling for that because the situation was like that, because they were not finding any place to stay. They were looking for cheap rents. So those were the baits that those scammers were placing in front of them. And I have also heard about some students that they really fall for that. They really couldn't understand that it was a scam, and they paid some money already, but later they realized that it was a scam. It was a total scam. So this is another thing that students should be aware of, especially the international students and the domestic students as well, those who are looking for off-campus housing, because these kind of people are also around who are scamming, who are just scamming people. Yeah, because it's too much puzzling. Like, especially for us, those who never never experienced these processes before, you know. Like we don't know how to look for the houses, especially what are the amenities and what are the benefits. We don't know anything about it. We just know that we need a place to stay. So that's the problem. We have the gap of information. We have miscommunication. We have those scammers waiting outside. Right. So there's a lot of problems, and rising rents and everything.